Yo, what's up guys? It's the Elephant, and here we go with another year of the Tiger Challenge. We are still going. This is the Territorial Tigers 5 Challenge with another free carbon fiber pack at the end. Yeah, our run is still going. It hasn't been ended yet. This is the furthest I've ever made it in a collection tag challenge, and we're hoping to go all the way. We've got the cars needed. We've got two epic pulls from carbon fibers and a legendary pull from a carbon fiber, plus an elite pack open where we also got epic. We just need now that standard tire ultra rare. If we get that, that'll be the key to our victory. That is basically the Jaguar XE SV Project 8 prize car locked and done. And also the Renault Sport Laguna, I think, as well, if we get the BTCC car. If we're able to get a standard tire ultra rare, I'm pretty sure that's the key to our victory. So let's continue on through these 20 rounds now, with showing you guys my hands with it edited down, so you guys don't have to watch me change my hands every, like, this video would have been actually 30 minutes long if I didn't edit it down, but I was able to chop out all the boring bits, so you guys just see the times for some of them, and also just the cars I'm using, so in case you guys are stuck, you can see what could help you guys win, because some of these are some pretty tricky rounds. Like, I have 2 Pontiac Grand Dams right now. So yeah, I'm using 2 Pontiac Grand Dams for this round, one of which is at 313, the other one's at 323. So on to round 3 now, still keeping up with the 2 Pontiac Grand Dams. Gonna use them both on the indoor karting, the slalom. And let's just continue forward. That fast circuit will be a bit interesting, but I have a feeling the Abarth could probably beat the Renault Laguna Coupe. We will have to see though. It could be close. I have a feeling it probably will be close. So let's see, let's watch how it goes. Okay, the Abarth is taking the lead, so yeah, I was just gonna skip to the end then. Right once I usually see the car take the lead on the fast circuit, then I'm like, okay, we've probably got a good shot, especially when we have more handling. And we take the lead, then usually that means your car's gonna be the one that's winning. Unless you have, like, no top speed really, like 120 mile per hour top speed, which really is just like those, like, only one I can really think of is like the slick tire front wheel drive Peugeot. 3.4 seconds 0 to 60, 97 handling, maxed out 233. That's front wheel drive, RQ65. I have that one, and it's not a bad fast circuit car. It's not really a bad even dragster for front wheel drive stuff, but it doesn't really have that high of top speed. So eventually it will get passed if you put it on something that's very competitive with a similar car in this category, like the Renault BTCC, which will hopefully be a video coming up soon if I'm able to get it. So let's just continue on now with this challenge, because first we have to get through this one and get the carbon fiber. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this challenge. And luckily our 323 beats the 233 spec, because sometimes you never know with 233 spec. It could beat you, and then you could have a bit of an issue, but so far I haven't really had that issue yet. So on to round 5 now. We are able to use a lot more RQ, so that is exactly what we're going to do then. We're going to use our more RQ we have. That Lancia Delta still being very useful in the challenge. And this fast are going to be a bit interesting. We've got the MRA, but they've got the handling. Like, we are taking the lead in the straights, and we are making a significant lead. We just need to keep that lead. So the Mazda is catching up quite a bit. We are in the lead still. Now they've taken the lead, but the MRA will bring us back to the top. We're finishing the race at 119 miles per hour. They're finishing at 109 or 101 maybe. I don't really remember now when I was saying it. But yeah, Mazda RX-7 then, we're using it on the Twisty circuit, and then that is where it is good. The Mazda RX-7 really came in clutch for this challenge. I did the 300 Renault thing, and you got the 10% chance of getting the ultra rare, and I got it first try, which was very lucky. I was not expecting that to happen, but it did. And that Mazda will be, I've already started maxing it out, so it'll be very key in the future, I'm pretty sure. So let's just continue on forward now. Like, it's at 4994, I think that's at 3, no, it's probably not. It's at like a 223. Or maybe, yeah, it might be 223 or it's 213. I don't really remember though. Okay, on to this round now. This round took a bit of thinking, but I was able to figure out a way to beat it, because they go very low with that Subaru Rex, and then I just had to figure out somewhere else I could go low, which luckily was the Renault Laguna Coupe, able to beat the Nissan Pulsar on the fast circuit. I was not really expecting that to work, but it did. And then they're throwing out the big guns with the Ford Focus RS 500 there, so I have to use my Subaru hatchback. Then the Grand Am beats the Subaru Rex. And then the Countach wins 0 to 60. That's a track you never really see very often, the 0 to 60 mile per hour drag. Probably because it's just such an easy track to determine who's going to win, because you have your 0 to 60 time on the card. So that's probably why we don't see it very often. But we sometimes do. Similar to also those tracks, well, it's not like a similar track, but we also don't see those ones that are like in the testing area, like the ones with the 1 kilometer with the speed bump, or that weird like figure 8 track. Like, we never really see those tracks. Also, this is an interesting matchup. It's similar to the one with the Mazda RX-7 against my Countach. Now we have a Maserati 3200 GT Assetto Corsa going against their Countach. And luckily, our Maserati is able to win in the end. It was very close, though. Definitely a very close race between the two. On to round 9 now. But back to what I was saying about those other tracks, those weird, like, the figure 8 and then the speed bump one, which we just never see, is pretty interesting. I just actually thought of something, too, that would be a pretty cool track set. So, like, it would be similar to something that has to do with ground clearance, but that it also wouldn't really play much of an effect with the type of tires you had. Like, I guess it could have a bit of an effect, like, it would be basically a track set that's just, like, a big water, like, drag. Like a drag, but that's like the forced river crossing, how you have the river area where it's the river and your cars go over the river, and some specific cars get slowed down compared to other cars, where I'm not really sure what gets slowed down on the river part of the forced river crossing. But what if it's like that river part, but just like a drag? Like, that could make a pretty interesting track set to have, and it could be like affected by having 4-wheel drive to get the quicker acceleration with your car being like in water. It wouldn't have to be like crazy deep water, but water where low ground clearance could have a bit of an issue, or even DNF, like, because the car could drown with the exhaust pipe underwater, which could be a pretty interesting concept. Or then having it with the higher ground clearance car you have, the better your car will be able to complete the drag, because it's not being waterboarded, so it won't be slowed down by the water pressure. And also you wouldn't have to worry about DNFing if your car is under the water. Like, there could be like a ground clearance sort of limit to the track set, which could make pretty interesting for an event. Plus, it could also give 4-wheel drive performance tire high ground clearance cars a bit of an advantage, because there isn't really much twisty to it. So, and in top drives, we don't really have the issue of cars spinning out. So it could be a pretty interesting concept, because standard tire cars don't really have much of a difference compared to performance tire cars on the drag strip when it's rainy. Slick tire cars having a bit of an effect, but standard tires will get like the jump, but they won't really keep on going. So, like, if it could be like puddle asphalt, sort of, where it's like flooded asphalt, like flooded drag, that's what it could be called, like flooded 1 mile. And it could just be like very wet, like where you see those videos of the cars getting stuck in the water and then they just like float away. Like, that could actually be a pretty interesting concept for a track set. It could give 4-wheel drive performance tire high ground clearance cars a bit of a very useful area to be in. It could be a pretty interesting concept, and it also could play in with the height on the back of the cards. Like, how you have height, and it doesn't really play much of an effect because we have cars that are like 1.2 ride height, but that are also medium ground clearance. It could be pretty interesting that if they base that stat on that track set. But that's never going to happen. That's just a track set I made up. I doubt anyone watching this video would really think about even adding that to the game that is a game developer of Top Drive. But maybe if you are listening, that could be a pretty cool concept for a track set that could be added. It could appeal to a niche of a car, because those 4-wheel drive high ground clearance performance tire cars are very niche. They have very niche requirements, very niche areas where they perform well in, and so that could be a pretty cool track set to have then, where you maybe want to keep more of those cars, especially with all the new performance SUVs that are being released lately that really should have performance tires, like that are released in real life, I mean, that are being released by real car companies, even though these car companies are real in the game. But I mean, like, cars that you can fungibly own in real life. Tangibly, not fungibly, tangibly own in real life. Like, there's a lot of performance SUVs being released with the Porsche Cayenne, Porsche Macan, Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. We got the Aston Martin DBX, the Lamborghini Urus. There's that Ferrari SUV coming out too, I think, sometime in the distant future. So yeah, lots of performance SUVs coming out, and if they were to be added to the game in the future as well, or Audi's doing a lot as well, I know that too, with performance SUVs, and Ford as well with the Mustang Mach-E, if we gave high ground clearance car performance tires and then added that track set. It could be pretty cool to see in the future of the game. But that's a very distant future, and I highly doubt that'll happen as well. That's just me coming up with a random update to think of some commentary besides my Year of the Tiger car is winning the race. Good job, Nissan Extra. You beat the Suzuki Kazashi 4x4. And yeah, there we go. M5 beats the Cronus. We are now on round 15. 6 rounds to go, I think. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yep, 6 rounds to go. Sometimes numbers are weird like that. But yeah, like see, there's the Forest River crossing right there. And I tried to just figure out where I could put my cars without having to switch my hand. And so that should probably all work like that then. I just didn't really want to go back to the menu and switch my hand, which is why I was thinking quite a bit on that one. But yeah, 79 points. We're just going to skip it because we're going to be getting a ton of points. As you can see, 298 I think is what it was. And then we should get a ton of points on that motocross track too. So yeah, don't really need to do too much with the hand again. I did switch up one thing, I think. I got rid of the Nissan X-Trail and kept the Jimny. And so yeah, that Chrysler Cronus is an interesting one too. That's a 332 spec. But it doesn't have bad MRA as well. I think it's got like 79 or 80. I don't really remember fully exactly what it is, but I do remember it has relatively decent MRA for it being a Super Rare. Super Rares don't really have too great of MRA, but it didn't have too bad of MRA. So yeah, definitely not a bad ride to have, and I totally had overlooked it all this time, but I've got one maxed now, so it'll probably be useful in the future then. So yeah, let's continue going. That Lancia Thema as well. Car I never really would have thought I'd have maxed out in my garage, but I do have one maxed out now, which I kind of like because having Lancias, I just kind of want to collect a bunch of Lancias. It's like one of the brands, since I have the Lancia LC2, which is the highest prize car in the brand, I kind of want to collect a lot of the Lancias then. As you can see, there's my Chrysler Cronus, which will be used in action. I'm pretty sure I'll throw it on the 1 mile drag if I remember correctly. Yep, there it goes. But yeah, there's like some brands that where I have the prize car or like the higher tier cars, like with Acura, I have both the NSX and the DNX, both legendaries collected. So I really want to collect then all the Acuras, just because that's a rather easier brand to collect all of them then, since I've already got both legendaries knocked out. And then like the Lancia Thema is from the brand Lancia, and I already have the Lancia LC2. Now there are also a bunch more legendaries for Lancia, and I don't plan on collecting like all the Lancias, but just collecting a couple or having a large amount of them is pretty cool. Same goes for GMC. I've got, I think, 7 out of the 14 GMCs, and I would like to collect all of them. Only issue will be them needing to release the Yukon XL again. I think it's the Yukon XL. And also I need to pull a Cyclone and the Yukon Denali. So those two are going to be a little tricky to pull because they're both epics. The Ultra I'm not too worried about. It hasn't been released in forever, so I really hope they release it sometime soon. But that's also because that's a car just I really want to get as well. It's probably my most wanted prize car right now, along with probably that Subaru Rally car. Because those two prize cars I really want. It's also interesting to speculate what that ARC Challenge final car will be, because it has to be a legendary. They haven't really released, I mean, they're not that, that's not what I was trying to say. They have released a lot of legendary prize cars that are already owned by people. So it's interesting to see what legendary prize car they'll choose to be the final one for this year's ARC Challenge and what that could be, because there's a lot of interesting ones and there's a lot of higher Q ones, and I don't think they give it a higher Q one for the free ARC Challenges, especially when they say that the ARC Challenges are meant to be more for beginner players to then win prize cars to help them stay competitive with everyone else to win the ultra rare prize car, which is the Ram 1500. And it'll also be interesting to see what the next tier prize car is, if it'll be another ultra rare or even an epic. If we get, because there's a lot of epic prize cars and we don't really see them released very often. So it could be pretty cool then if we see ARC Challenges starting to use epic prize cars as a reward they give out. And I'm not sure if this was round 20, I think this was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is round 20, so then we'll be getting our carbon fiber pack soon, which is pretty cool. Maybe we can get lucky with that ultra rare, which is standard tires. So yeah, we will have to see. 297 points, and there it is, Year of the Tiger carbon fiber. Let's see what we can get. Okay, Chevy Impala SS, Citroen, Range Rover Mach 1, BMW 330i, and yes! Our key to victory has been claimed. That car basically is the Jaguar XE-SV Sport Brake, not Sport Brake, I don't know what I'm saying, Jaguar XE-SV Project 8, or I think that's what it's called. I can't even remember the name anymore, but we got the Suzuki Kizashi. That is our key to victory. Let's lock that, start upgrading it right away. I did not mean to go all the way back there. But yeah, let's lock it and get some upgrades into it too. Probably throw a fuse into it. Let's just get it started fusing as well so I can just work on maxing it out. Except I don't really have a fuse mat car, so let's add some cars. There we go. And now we can probably drop a fuse into our Suzuki. And that'll be concluding it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that cool stuff. I'm Yellowfin. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.